Guys, the rebrand. Dare I say, I've seen the trend everywhere. I first saw it really, which makes so much sense, in January. So checks out, granted, New Year's resolutions and all that jazz. Like, obviously, that's when a lot of people are going to be in the mindset of like rebranding, new me, new year, new me. Yeah, vibes like that. So I definitely saw a bunch of people kind of going on this like, don't bother me, I'm rebranding, which honestly, at first I didn't really think much about it, but I have a lot of thoughts, so yeah, let's just get chatting. You guys know me. I love Pinterest. I eat, breathe, and live Pinterest. My boards constantly being updated, constantly being curated. Honestly, that's probably something I should psychoanalyze in an episode, but I love Pinterest. It's just my thing. So, one Pinterest session, I sat down and I was like, you know what? Second year rebrand. I love this. Like, new school year, new me. Like, I'm rebranding. Like, this is going to be so good. And you know me. You know how I overanalyze everything. This was going to be one of the things I overanalyzed. I was like, so what is so intriguing about a rebrand to me, to society? Like, why is it a trend? What are kind of the implications? There's more going on here, and me being Sherlock Holmes, I was like, I'm figuring this out. The conclusion I've kind of come to is that the concept of the rebrand, it's honestly messier than one would think. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. So I figured we'd start with my own personal experience of the rebranding, like when I first kind of started the concept of a rebrand. I would say this time last year, so July 2025, like 2 months before I embarked on my journey to St. Andrews, I decided to embark on a major rebrand. Like, I wasn't calling it a rebrand or anything, but I was like, it was basically a rebrand in my mind. Because when you think about it, I had such an insanely unique opportunity. I was going to a place where I knew absolutely no one. So I truthfully could become anybody I wanted to be without any like past versions of myself influencing what people were thinking. So like, if I was going to rebrand, that was going to be the moment. I definitely attempted the rebrand. I made the Pinterest boards, chopped my hair off. Guys, I used to have super long hair, absolutely chopped it, went full, not like a bob. I was very much going for the Jennifer Aniston Friends bob-ish. Like, not when it was its shortest, but like, I'm rambling, but like that was the vibe I was going for. Very like 90s blowout layered short hair. Very cute. Me and my mom, like, we went to Aritzia and I was like, okay, like this is the style, this is the vision. And she was like, okay, I'm loving this. And we got a whole new wardrobe. I was like, this is it. Like, this is St. Andrew's Grace, not Tampa Grace, St. Andrew's Grace. Like, this is a whole new person. But after analyzing my actions and my thoughts and kind of thinking about where we are going as a society. Wow, I'm really trying to sound profound here. But you guys get my point. Just after like looking at social media and pop culture and just everything that's going on, my thoughts about the rebrand have definitely shifted. And I know that there are a lot of people in the same position I was in last year right now. So I just really wanted to give some insight that I wish I had going into my first year. The definition of a rebrand itself is to quote unquote, to change or update the brand or branding of a product, service, etc. to stay relevant. Ooh, okay. So in this definition, in this simple little definition that I got from Google, quick little Google search, we are implicating so much when we put that on ourselves. Firstly, it's taking us from a person to a product. The trend itself is dehumanizing us. Like, instead of looking at your life of this evolution of growth and change, it's almost like we've switched it to like analyzing our performance through numbers and feedback, which like analytically, like I understand that's how you're supposed to figure out if something's working or not. But I feel like when you're saying you're rebranding, you're essentially saying who I am now is no longer performing well in current society. So how do I need to change everything about my life to conform to a current societal standard? In that little word, rebrand, you're subconsciously telling yourself you need to live for other people, creating this persona of you for other people. And I don't love that. I don't think that's a healthy way to live. I think when you really deep it, it's toxic. So that's my first qualm with the trend. I feel like I need to say, just put it out there, I'm not opposed to change at all. I think any life change, big or small, and accepting that life change and even encouraging that life change is truthfully one of the healthiest things a person can do to become their fullest self. But I do feel like the rebrand trend, although it's like encouraging change, it's encouraging the wrong kind of change. It's a very performative change. It's very outward. It's very much promoting changing essentially everything that affects how people perceive you. And at the end of the day, I don't think that's very valuable. And I don't think that's the rebrand we should be focusing on. To be quite blunt, I feel like it's very draining. I'm just thinking about the times in my own life when I've kind of been like, okay, well, I want to be more like this. Like, I want to be more like this persona. It's very draining because then you're spending all of this time almost performing to be this different persona. And it's like, there's no really inward change happening. You're just so stressed trying to make sure that it seems like you are coming across in a certain way. After a while, you're just going to get tired of it. And I think it can really confuse you and you can get lost in trying to remember who you are and what you truly want your life to look like and not what you feel like society is telling you what your life should look like. I personally believe that one of a person's greatest asset is being able to objectively analyze your life, truthfully recognize, okay, these are my goals. This is what I want out of life. This is what I value. This is what I'm currently doing, and assess these behaviors are not leading me to where I want to be. And then actively taking the steps to changing that behavior to become your best version of yourself. That is an amazing skill, and if you can do it, props to you. My point here is that that's not what the rebrand trend is, but I feel like that's what it should be. The rebrand trend is very much focused on the exterior when it should be focused on the interior. And with that being said, I am such a proponent of your style reflecting who you are. Obviously, if you guys watched the St. Andrew's fashion culture episode, you know this. But I do feel like style is a big part of self-expression. And obviously, as you change and grow and evolve, your style is going to change. So I don't want my statements to come across being like, don't ever change your style. Like, that's horrible. Like, don't do it, because that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is the most important part about the rebrand is the intention behind it. And I think it's the intention behind it that can cause it to be a really good thing, or it can cause it to be a really bad thing. I just think it's important to recognize why you feel the need to change. A really good quote to explain this, in my humble opinion: focus on improving yourself, not improving yourself. Just making sure that the rebrand is for you and you alone, and because you want to become a better person, and not about what others think and what you think others are expecting of you. I'm saying this because my first year, my rebrand was totally not about me. In a sense, it was very much about like me thinking that I had to fit this certain like St. Andrews stereotypical student chic aesthetic. But in reality, it wasn't really a rebrand. It was just me with shorter hair and cuter clothes. I'm just going to boil it down to what I learned this past year. The rebrand happened on its own without me trying. It happened gradually, and it honestly happened without me noticing. It wasn't last August when my mom and I went to Aritzia and I was like, okay, this is the vision, this is me, this is my new St. Andrews aesthetic look. It was having the courage to go to St. Andrews in the first place. It wasn't when I went for a walk every morning with my pink ankle weights, with my eye patches and my matching workout set. No, it was the discipline that it took to get up at 6 a.m. and go walking before I started my day. Or it wasn't like my new pink aesthetic. If you can't tell, I love the color pink. It wasn't my new pink aesthetic journal that I was writing in every morning, right? That makes me look like this, oh, like I'm so productive. I'm so health and wellness baddie. No, it wasn't that. It was the thoughts and the ideas that I was working through in that journal that really contributed to the rebrand. My point in saying all of this is that the true rebrand isn't changing what your life looks like. It's growing into the next version of yourself. Period. Yeah, that's the advice that I'd give to anyone starting their first year. Like, by all means, of course, go make that Pinterest board, go buy the new outfit, go chop your hair off, like do whatever you think is the new you. Just don't get it confused with what true growth and true evolution actually is. Because in my opinion, the most meaningful rebrand isn't the crazy change that everyone's going to notice just by looking at you. It's growing and evolving into the next version of you, the one who's going to think differently, the one who's going to act differently, and the one who's just going to approach life in general differently. And that's amazing. And that's the true rebrand. And you can't really force it to happen. It's just gonna happen. Yeah. Okay, guys, that's it for this week. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all so much for chatting with me. If you've made it this far, you should totally like and follow and all that good stuff and come back and chat again. So let's chat soon.